October 331 BCE. On the plains near Gaugamela, the world was about to change. There were no hills to hide behind, no forests to break the line, only open land, and two armies that should never have met on equal terms. On one side stood the Persian Empire, vast, confident, unstoppable. On the other, a young king leading an army that should not have survived the day. Across the plain stretched an army unlike anything the ancient world had ever assembled. Hundreds of thousands of Persian soldiers, infantry, cavalry, chariots, and war elephants. To them, this wasn't a battle. It was a ceremony. The final act before victory was made official. At the center sat Darius III, the great king, ruler of Asia. A man whose power had crushed rebellions and humbled nations. No one was expected to challenge him. Only kneel. Facing this empire stood just 47,000 Macedonians. Led by a king barely 25 years old. A commander undefeated, but now surrounded by odds that made defeat seem inevitable. Alexander of Macedon 0.5 times outnumbered. Enemy cavalry on both flanks. Chariots designed to shred infantry. By every rule of ancient warfare, this battle should have ended before it began. By nightfall, one empire would fall. One king would flee. And history would tilt toward a future no one on that field could yet imagine. Alexander never fought to test his enemy. He fought to break them, completely. Every campaign was personal. Every battle decisive. There was no second attempt. At the Granicus River, he charged first and nearly died. At Issus, he aimed straight for the Persian king, and watched him flee. Each victory shattered not just armies, but belief in Persian authority. This time, Darius chose everything. The ground. The formation. The moment. A battlefield built for numbers, not skill. Gaugamela. On the night before the clash, Alexander refused a surprise attack. He wanted victory in daylight. Seen. Undeniable. That night, he studied the ground, searching for weakness. At dawn, the Persian line stretched beyond sight. Soldiers from dozens of cultures. Different languages. Different loyalties. Held together by fear of the king. Alexander's army was smaller, but unified. Phalanxes locked together. Cavalry ready to strike. Every soldier trained to move as one. Alexander told his men that numbers did not decide fate. Discipline did. Courage did. And today, the world would learn the difference. Then Alexander did something unexpected. He didn't charge forward. He drifted sideways, pulling the Persian cavalry with him. Stretching the enemy line thin. The Persians attacked. Chariots thundered forward. Elephants charged. But the Macedonian line opened, and swallowed them whole. As the Persian center weakened, Alexander saw it. A gap. A moment. He gathered his cavalry and turned straight toward the king. When Alexander broke through, Darius hesitated. Then he fled. And with that single act, the Persian army lost its heart. Alexander did not destroy Persia city by city. He destroyed its command in one afternoon. By sunset, the greatest empire on earth was already dead. Even if it hadn't realized it yet. With Darius gone, the Persian army didn't retreat, it dissolved. Orders stopped moving. Units broke formation. What had looked like unstoppable power became scattered fear. An empire without its king was just men standing in the wrong place. Alexander wanted pursuit. But war forced a harder decision. His left flank was close to collapse. So he turned back, not for glory, but control. By reinforcing his struggling generals, Alexander secured victory completely. The battle didn't end with a chase. It ended with survival. And survival meant dominance. Gaugamela wasn't just a battlefield win. It removed the center of Persian power. From that moment on, no city truly believed resistance could succeed. Babylon welcomed Alexander as a ruler. Susa surrendered its treasure without a fight. Persia's wealth changed hands, not through siege but certainty. Persepolis stood as the heart of Persian identity. Its fall wasn't tactical, it was symbolic. The old world burned, making room for something new. Yet one thing still mattered. Darius lived. And as long as the king breathed, the idea of Persia could survive. Alexander didn't chase land. He chased legitimacy. That pursuit dragged his army into harsh terrain, where numbers meant nothing. In 330 BCE, Persia made one final stand. A narrow pass. Steep cliffs. A place designed to stop Alexander, or kill him. Here, Alexander faced what Gaugamela never gave him. Real danger. No open plains. No room to maneuver. Only strategy, or annihilation.